If you're retired and wondering whether a cruise is the best way to see Brazil, this one's for you. In our third episode, we visited 5 very different ports and tried onboard experiences like Azamara Chef's Table. We even tried all the included wines for you. By the end, we'll walk through the pros and cons of this ship and itinerary and whether we do it this way again. Good morning from Rio de Janeiro. This is day 1. We are dragging a little bit. White night party was last night, and I don't know what idiot sets up a tour at 8:15 in the morning after white night. So here we are.
Here we are. We're going to go see Christ the Redeemer.
Yes, which is like literally right there.
Yeah, right in front.
But
Probably
I
can't
think
see
it's
it from
going to
here.
take an hour to get there and 40 minutes for the funicular ride up. So there's going to be a lot of travel time. But looking forward to it. And that's just day 1. We're staying overnight here. So we've got some other stuff planned for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we had an overnight in Rio, we didn't have to rush our sightseeing. We decided to start with one of the big ones, Christ the Redeemer. The easiest way up is this little train that climbs Corcovado Mountain about 700 meters above sea level. The statue has been up here since 1931, built over about 9 years. It stands 30 meters tall with a wingspan of 28 meters from fingertip to fingertip. Up close, it's more solid and simple than the photos suggest. You really notice the stonework and the steady flow of people from all over the world doing the same slow circle underneath. Then you turn around, and the real show is the view. Rio spreads out below you, the bay, Sugarloaf, and the city packed between the hills and the water. Not a bad way to start 2 days in Rio.
We're doing our pedicab this morning tour with Michael.
He's doing all the work, though.
He's from Australia, but he lived here for 14 years.
Michael picked us up right at the cruise port, which made things very easy. Rio is a big city, about 6 million people itself and more than 14 million in the metro area, all tucked between the mountains and Guanabara Bay. So rolling through the streets like this is a nice, slow way to get our bearings.
And then we ran into this. This is the Bloco, basically a neighborhood street party. We're about 2 weeks before Carnival and Rio doesn't wait for the official start. It was 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning and the music was loud, people were in costumes, drinks in hand, and everyone just dancing in the streets. For locals, this is completely normal. For us, it felt a little bit early.
From the back of the pedicab, you really feel how the city winds between the hills. Real streets follow the train more than they follow any kind of neat grid. These are the Celeron Steps, one of Rio's most visited spots. They were created by a Chilean artist named Jorge Celeron, who lived right here in this neighborhood. He started working on the steps in 1990 as what he called the tribute to the Brazilian people. There are 215 steps, all covered in more than 2,000 tiles collected from over 60 countries. Some tiles were sent to him by visitors, others he found himself, and he kept changing and adding to the design over the years. Celeron actually lived on these steps until he died in 2013. Since then, the stairs have become a kind of open-air gallery and one of those places almost every visitor comes to see. You can spend a long time here just spotting where all the different tiles come from. We also visited Paseo Publica Park. Until about a year ago, it probably wasn't somewhere you would want to go as it was overrun with drugs, but the city started hosting events here like Samba Sundays, and so now it's a great place to spend some time. The tropical trees here are absolutely magical.
Our next stop was the Metropolitan Cathedral, a place that has hosted crowds of up to 20,000 people standing for major services, including a visit from Pope John Paul II. Inside, the scale is impressive, but it's full color that really stays with you. The light, the painted details, and of calm. It was a quick stop, but one of those moments that quietly tells you about the history and the heart of Brazil.
We also visited a church that was called Our Lady of the Merchants of Lapa. I'm not sure I've seen a cathedral with quite so many curtains. This last shot is of the statue of Mary and a cannon shell that was apparently dropped on the cathedral to try to destroy this place at one point. The only thing that happened was Mary lost a couple fingers. It was considered a miracle. The Candelaria Church took 127 years to build. It's gorgeous. This was built by a French family after they prayed for survival during a severe storm while sailing. They made a promise if they survived, they would build a church.
Bad.
We're going up a big hill, so we gotta zigzag.
We've offered to walk.
We decided to make a stop up at the hilltop St. Benedict Monastery, which was started in 1590. It is a school all the way through college. It's another church location in South America that is absolutely dripping in gold. There was a wonderful vantage point on the path down the hill where we had a beautiful view of the ship as well. One of the things that we noted is that walking distance from the cruise ship was this beautiful museum. It's called the Museum of the Future. Next time we come here, we are going to plan on spending a day here.
Good morning from Paraty, Brazil.
Where we are going to do a walking tour with the ship.
Yes, 2 hours. This one is a tender port, and the captain just said it's about 30 to 35 minutes, which is quite long.
Yeah.
Because what are we? Like
They said that it's only 5 feet beneath the keel this morning as we are anchored.
So you're not getting too close to this one. So
No.
we'll be back.
Rafa with Paraty Tours was our tour guide. There were 18 people assigned in our group, which is a lot. He told us Paraty is halfway between Rio and Sao Paulo. It's 4.5 hours to each, and that the city had been named a UNESCO site.
In this little coastal town, the tide comes in every day and the streets flood and leaves little critters like this until the tide comes back in.
One of our first stops was the Pineapple House, which is a symbol of good health or nobility. It's newer, but built after the original one fell. A French man owns it today and has to adhere to very strict guidelines for the exterior. They're very serious about their Portuguese background and architectural standards for the area. Right on the edge of the water is Nossa Senhora das Dores, often called the Women's Church. It's small and simple, white walls, green door, one bell tower, but it's one of Paraty's most recognizable churches.
We ducked into this little shop with a sand floor and a rowboat hanging overhead. Story goes the man piloted this boat from South Africa to South America.
Praça da Madrid, the Metro Square. This is the heart of the old city of Day. Is the newest church of Paraty, the building 1863. But I have a funny thing, guys. They started to build this church around 1780. Took almost 90 years to build this church.
This is Paraty's main Catholic church on the town square. It's the key landmark in the historic center and easy to find on any walking route. You can usually step inside during the day, so if you're planning a visit, it's an easy quick stop while you explore the old town. We walked along the cobblestone streets to our last church stop. This one was built in 1722. It is known as the Church of Santa Rita and was built by the Brotherhood of Freed People of Color during the colonial era. It is the oldest church in Paraty. On the walk back, we found pure Paraty energy. These aren't just boats, they're floating parties fueled by clove and cinnamon cachaça. If you haven't been on a party schooner, did you even go to Brazil?
Good morning from Ilhabela, Brazil. As you can see, we're not there yet.
It's a tender port.
We're supposed to be there in just 15 minutes. So what do we have going on today?
It's a photography class with the ship.
Yay. So this should be the first photography class we've ever done on a tour. So 3.5 hours, we'll be back.
We'll start our tour. I'm Giovanna, I'll be your guide. And
Meet our new best friend, the man tasked with saving our photography skills. We hit the Ilhabela coast to learn how to actually time a wave and not just take blurry photos of our own feet. It was 3 hours of art, ocean fronts, and chasing dogs in the surf. Stick around for the next 2 minutes to see if we actually pass the class. Tonight was our turn for the chef's table signature, which means that the chef gets to choose what we have. So let's run through these courses really quick.
Signature chef's table means everything is unique. We felt this meal was Michelin level and worth every penny.
Today we are in Santos, Brazil. The captain has just announced that we will stay in port longer. You don't see that very often, so that those who are going into Sao Paulo can have a more relaxed day. We chose to do a couple-hour tour where we will be heading into Montserrat and then going to the coffee museum. The ship did offer a free shuttle into town, but it went to a mall instead of the historic district. Our first stop will be the funicular up to Montserrat and the old casino. The funicular is over 120 years old, but somehow we packed 40 people from the bus onto just one of these, but we got to the top just fine. There is a cafe here that we passed through, and there is a beautiful chapel and some of the most stunning views of Santos. We then entered the old casino building, which had a lot of preserved furniture from when it was a working casino. It's very beautiful architecture. Our second stop was the coffee museum. The guide was not allowed to use her microphone, so with 40 people, it's a little difficult to hear. The first floor primarily consists of the old auction floor that operated until the 1950s, and there's a museum behind it. Make sure to see this room and then proceed to watch the movie. After the movie, you can then go into the other areas of the museum. Do not miss the second floor. It is extensive, and there is even an area where they have more modern museum items, even virtual reality. Once you're done, make your way back downstairs to the cafe so you can actually try some of these amazing Brazilian coffees. So tonight our AzAmazing Evening is on board, and there will be a local orchestra performing. As a person who was in band, concert band, marching band, and orchestra for many, many years, I really struggled with their out of tune situation.
That's the Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay, okay. We're
Okay.
tasting all of the house wines that include.
We'll see that here. He's going to be on YouTube. He's going to be on YouTube.
And that's the Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay.
And
Right,
so yeah, so you got that. Yeah, they said
Those have the Azamara logo.
Yeah.
That is the Sauvignon Blanc.
That's one Sauvignon Blanc. And one more is remaining now.
Okay, pardon.
Another one, what do you call it? A Riesling. You want to try the Rosé, Riesling?
There's a rosé too? Yeah. So this one is,
It doesn't have the Azamara logo on it.
but what does that say? It's the problem with not having glasses on.
Product of Italy.
Oh, okay. So then, okay. So
Italian.
you got Pinot Grigio, you have the Chardonnay, and you have Sauvignon Blanc.
You can leave that.
Okay, thank you.
About the
Belle Oliver. Belle Oliver, France.
okay,
There you go.
from France. Okay,
Ah.
one from Provence, does it say?
It does not say.
Which is the one good one for you?
I'm okay with the Pinot Grigio and the Chardonnay. Not a fan of the Zin and the. I like a Provence rosé that's really dry. This is like it's tart, here, tartish.
Yeah.
But everybody has different tastes.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful
Another
selection.
we have the last one
Okay,
called Riesling.
the Riesling.
We have
Riesling
all,
in general
all
is-
the testing already.
Sweet.
We just
Our own private wine tasting.
Hopefully we're not starting something here. Sorry. Has anybody else ever asked you this?
I have time, then I can do it. If I'm busy, then maybe I can give you only one glass, one glass. Okay, next one.
They call it the the house wine tasting, just, you know.
Yeah, just something different. It's never happened out one.
Tell me, what do you think of the Riesling?
I'm not a Riesling fan because it's very sweet. But I actually think people who like Riesling will like this. So it's an included selection that's that broad. That's fantastic. So, all right, now you know for the wines.
Now you know. Bordeaux, a Cab, and a Shiraz.
Yeah.
All right. No, your verdict on the Shiraz.
It needs to set for a little bit and breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not.
No, I like
It
that.
is. I liked it. Yeah. Thought it was good.
Okay, that's Cabernet.
Cabernet is pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this. I can get it.
we'll
I can do
be
fine
drinking.
with
Yeah,
these
this one's
reds.
good. This is good.
Which
The
one
cab.
first?
The
So-
cab.
Cabernet is good.
So
Yeah.
what's the best? What's the most requested wine that you have that's on the
Cabernet,
house list?
Cabernet.
The
yeah.
Cabernet.
Most-
Yeah.
This is the
The
basic
same
one.
company. Okay.
And yeah, another one is the replacement.
Okay.
Pavilion short. Can you turn that bottle around for a second?
He likes this.
So it's got the Azamara private label on it also. Okay.
That's cool.
Trying the Pavilion.
This is the
Shiraz.
this is
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
the
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
Oh, this is the Bordeaux.
This is the Bordeaux.
Okay, the Bordeaux. Two things with the Bordeaux.
But
So this
very
is the best
dry.
one. So
Yeah, very dry. I like the cab a little better.
The Bordeaux's got kind
That's
of a
the same.
smooth finish, though.
Yeah, it does. It's very dry.
Hmm.
Well, okay.
now we're trying
the
the-
original Syrah from Pavilion that is
The Azamara labeled Shiraz. What do you feel?
Still like that cab better.
Oh, so the cab.
That cab,
the cab is the definite
spot
red
on.
wine
He said he
winner.
goes through 20 bottles a day on that. So I'm
So
thinking
you are
that
going.
the people have spoken.
Yeah.
The people have spoken.
Yeah.
That it's the cab.
this is good one.
So last night we had this massive dinner, chef's table signature, and it was have not been hungry all day. So this is a tapas that's upstairs, Spanish omelets. There's even a chorizo thing over there, which you'll like, little beef skewers. So this is going to
That's
be
your dinner time.
This is my
All
dinner.
right.
This is perfect.
So plus
I don't want
the-
anything else for like another day.
Don't forget about the 7 glasses of wine you had.
I
just a
didn't have
minute
7
ago.
glasses of wine. It's a small case. Well, it looks a little big, doesn't it? But
Oh,
it's
boy,
not.
that's not a tasting. That's a glass.
It is not, but I had. Okay. Good morning and welcome to Montevideo, Uruguay.
Yes, our first time in Uruguay, so we can check another country off the list.
Yep, and it's our last port stop before we get to Buenos Aires. We'll have an overnight in Buenos Aires, and then this cruise is over. Today we are doing.
A 3-hour walking tour
There you
with the
go.
ship.
Yeah, so we're coming right into town, and apparently we just walk right off the ship and all these different places. So we'll be back.
Should be fun.
Yeah. Our guide was Fernando, and we started in the old city at Independence Square. He shared a bit of history of the town. He said that they were the location of the first World Cup in 1930, and that really put them on the map. They're a short 2.5-hour ferry ride to Buenos Aires, so it's a popular and quieter getaway. This unique building was built in 1928. The Salvo family, who are Italian, had this originally built as a hotel, and it's a replica of a building in Buenos Aires. It is now condos, but he said the rooms are very small and only 1 or 2 people are allowed per condo. And this beautiful French-looking building is the Canadian Embassy.
This is the statue of Jose Artigas, Uruguay's national hero. His tomb is actually underneath the monument, and you can walk down and visit it. Under the statue is a guarded mausoleum with Artigas remains. It is free to enter, and you can walk around the central urn and see inscriptions about the role in Uruguay's independence.
Just off the square is Teatro Solis. It opened in 1856 and is the oldest operating theater in Uruguay. This stone gateway is the Porta de la Ciudadela. It is the only remaining section of the original wall that once fortified the city. On the surrounding walking street, these brass suns in the pavement honor famous Uruguayan writers and artists, but hey, also the Rolling Stones. We also found this mural dedicated to candombe. It's an Afro-Uruguayan drumming tradition that originated in these neighborhoods, and they typically celebrate every Sunday. This is Constitution Plaza, the oldest square in the city. It was the commercial center of colonial Montevideo. It is a beautiful, relaxing spot in the city. Right on the square is also Metropolitan Cathedral. It was consecrated in 1804 and remains the main Catholic church in Uruguay. It is the burial place for many of the country's archbishops and presidents. A few blocks away, we visited the Gaucho Bank Museum. It is housed in a restored 19th century bank headquarters. The exhibits focus on the rural cowboy culture of Uruguay, displaying horse gear, silver spurs, and traditional mate cups. There is also an immersion video that we found absolutely fascinating. Our guide dropped us off at the Mercado del Porto, right across the street from the cruise terminal. So if you didn't want to do a tour, you can just walk here. It opened in 1868 and is now filled with restaurants, famous for parrilla, open fire beef grilling, as well as many tourist shops. So as always, we commit to being completely transparent. And while we had a great time on the cruise, we do want to share what we feel are kind of the pros of our particular trip, as well as share with you some things that, maybe could have gone a little bit better. So you want to start?
Yeah, so one of the things that we really enjoyed was they stay overnight. We stayed overnight in both Rio and in Buenos Aires, and they stayed late when they can. We stayed until about 10 o'clock when we were in Santos, so people could go to Sao Paulo and be able to get back on time, so that was great. And we also like the fact that they do an excellent job of printing out port maps and port details they hand out to everybody. There's also shuttles into town on most stops.
Yeah, that was great. Moving on to food and drink. One of the things, if you're on a long cruise, you all know you can get very bored with the menus, and we counted 24. There may have been more, I don't know, but they put the little number by the menu every day, so it was really nice that we had great variety. We've also found AzAmazing is not one of those lines where there's like a food desert at any time. It's like food everywhere all the time. There's always something, whether it's a tea or tapas or whatever. So bit overwhelmed, or people showing up at your door with stuff. Good brunch offering, no charge for it. I know some lines are starting to charge for these, so that was really nice. We showed you the included wines, as well as there's a whole list out there with the spirits that are included, so you can get margaritas and all kinds of stuff. So what drinks are included in the fare is actually really good. I mean, is it like, really expensive wines? No, but they were good. We didn't ever see a shortage of supply. So I'm an almond milk drinker, and more often than not, the cruise line runs out of the unsweet almond milk like really early. And I end up having to buy it and pour it and put it in my room, and then I'm making espresso and stuff. So we also never ran out of raspberries.
Yes, and they also never ran out of your favorite wine, which was the first.
Right, yeah, Holland, America. They're out on day 5 of the Whispering Angel. So to-go cups available with coffee in the morning. Those have become a little elusive on lines we found. Seating at the Windows Cafe. I cannot tell you how many times on these R-class ships we haven't been able to find a place to sit, but we didn't have that problem. And we weren't going at weird hours either. It's like, we're going at lunchtime. No upcharge for water. After having to pay for cans of water on our last cruise, it was like you got as much water as you wanted. And lastly, the destination meal specials were really good, especially the Brazil ones. I became a huge fan of those. Always looking for, we having that chicken stew or beef or whatever. Yeah. They had some really good choices there. So.
Yeah. So next up is things to do and entertainment. We had 2 white nights. We loved them. That was great fun. A lot of dancing. A lot of great food. The entertainment was good. I really loved the guitarist. I loved the piano player, Jose on the keys. He was awesome. The enrichment speakers were good. And they had a visiting artist that was popular with a lot of people to do watercoloring and things, although I didn't partake in that.
They even had an art show.
Yeah. And they have a large card room, and they had a lot of included fitness classes, which Leah did a lot.
Yeah. Service and staff, this is probably, we do see a lot of the officers on other cruises, but not as much as this cruise. Captain was, when you were disembarking was there. I swear he was everywhere. I have no idea how he was everywhere all the time, but you saw the crew a lot. Then they're barbecuing for you on the deck parties. Longevity of the crew, the fact that some of these people have been with Azamara for 10, 12, 15 years, they're very proud of it. That was just really amazing to us to see crew last that long. Service of the staff, so the fact that they knew so many of our preferences so early in the cruise, it was probably day 2, day 3, they were already saying, do you want the Whispering Angel, or they knew that. Laundry came back the next day, very well done. We were super happy with the laundry service. The all-inclusive gratuities that were already in the fare, not having to have this whole separate charge show up, I mean, that's just fantastic. And then the flexibility of a small ship. I know Doug mentioned it once, but being able to stay late in port. But there were other things that we did that were just, you wouldn't be able to do that if you were not on a small ship. But with that said, there's a couple things that, when we thought about it, that are just cons to our cruise.
Yeah, so one of them is, of course, the ships are getting old. They were built in the maybe 2000, 2001 era.
Yeah.
So, they're starting to show some wear. They do, refurb them quite frequently, but I think they're about due. This one is about due.
There's a big one scheduled in November of 2026, but it's going to take all of them a little while to get done.
And with that, the same goes for the tenders. They're also the same age, and they get some wear and tear in them, too.
Yeah. Stuff to do. You saw our little clip on AzAmazing Evening. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't want to belabor it, but the AzAmazing Evenings could be very hit or miss. I think the one that we actually had, a Recife, could have been done on the ship. There wasn't really anything other than a concert that we went to, and it was kind of a logistical nightmare with all the buses being late, and there's a lot of stories about that one. We did not, on this cruise, have a onboard destination specialist, so that was... The cruise director actually apologized for it. He said they were unable to find somebody, but that's kind of...
Yeah, that was one thing that Holland did really well in Japan.
Yeah. And the fitness center is really small, and the equipment is very dated. What was the connection?
So on the treadmills, they had that old style iPod connector that was about that wide. So if you had that first generation iPod, you could have plugged that in, but that
really
was the only thing you could listen to. So
they did get all the treadmills working except one by the end of it. So that just needs a bit of a refresh. Very busy, very popular up there.
So tech, well, the internet, I think we mentioned this earlier in some videos, that it was hit or miss. The speed, we got about 3 meg down, and in some cases 4 meg down, and 3 or 4 up, and it made it difficult to upload our videos and do other things that we needed to do. But it did work. It was just, I believe that their Starlink subscription is undersized, and they pretty much admitted that when we talked to the IT guys.
And I know people, this is a contentious one, but the fact that there's no app, and in certain cases you've got to get up and go walk to the restaurant to see what's going to be on the menu, go back to your room for accounting or go to customer services. It's just kind of a pain. It would be nice if they had a little more modernization there. For food and drink, this was pretty consistent, that the buffet lamps in the Windows Cafe just really led to dry fish, dry meat. Like, you really had to look for the sauces, and it's not unique.
It's not uncommon that the buffet meats get dry. They were.
High tea or elegant tea. So while they had tea, normal tea every day, the really fancy one on ours was only offered once on a 22-day itinerary. We missed the first one because I didn't see it in time. You got to really read the fine print. But they didn't offer it again because they had split the cruise into 2 cruises after we booked, and the next one was too short to have it. So that was kind of disappointing. And then if you're in a suite, you get to have breakfast in Aquilina, and it's only open from 8 to 9:30, and they don't flex those hours. So, with your port days, meeting times are at 8. we couldn't enjoy the restaurant as many times as we would have liked to. It would have been nice for it to open
Yeah.
a little
But when we
earlier.
did, it was a great breakfast.
Yeah. And then just a couple miscellaneous ones.
Yeah, the excursions, they could have done a better job on excursions. We felt our one excursion that we did to Belém out to the Amazon,
Yeah.
there was probably, I don't know, quite
Six.
a few buses.
There were 6 buses
And there was a
going out
small
there.
property that you did your kind of rainforest tour on, and you were
Mm-hmm.
pretty much bumping into the other tours as you went along, and it was just way too crowded.
Yeah, there were many cases that the group should have been split into different pieces, because you try to put 40 people on a walking tour, and the guide is not allowed to have a mic.
Yeah.
Makes for kind of a difficult day, but that's it. I mean, all in all, we really enjoyed our cruise.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah,
loved
we
the
would
cruise.
definitely cruise Azamara again, and we really appreciate you all following along with us. And if we've missed anything, obviously, if there's something you'd like to add or make sure that we know about, or the rest of the group that reads or listens to our things, please take the time to leave a comment. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll get prompted when we post our next video.